Hey guys, Chandler here, back on my channel Alternate Journey, and today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about the side effects and horrors of being on testosterone. So this video may be a long one and everything, because there is a lot of information I want to put out there for people who just want to know the side effects. I don't know about anyone else who has started testosterone or thinking about going on testosterone, but family definitely wants to get involved if they are supportive and everything. They just want to know, like, you know, what you're getting yourself into and, like, what's the side effects and everything. I get questions all the time from family members, friends. But also I wanted to put this information out there for anyone who are questioning their identity, thinking that they are trans, thinking of going on testosterone and everything, just so they have this information out there of what they're going to be putting themselves through if they do go on testosterone. Okay, so just a disclaimer first before we get involved with all the side effects and everything. Going on testosterone doesn't necessarily take away all your dysphoria. Yes, it does make your gender dysphoria less severe, and it does help your psychological and emotional distress and help you function better and everything, and like have a better like outlook on life. But it doesn't just make all your dysphoria go away or like help with depression or anything like that. Now, if that's all you wanted to do with your transition, that's great. If going on T helps everything for you, that is amazing. You don't have to go through everything to be trans. There's nothing that invalidates you of being trans. Like, there's no such thing as being trans enough. So, just wanted to point that out there. And also, another disclaimer that some of these changes and everything like that, some of them may occur to you, some of them may not. And some of them may happen more quickly for you, and then some of them is like a delay. Basically, it varies person to person, especially with your genetics. And also, just remember, puberty usually lasts like 5 years for someone. So like all these changes can happen within 5 years. There's no like given amount of time. Yes, there's average times, like people can be like, oh, you'll experience this like roughly 3 months on T, but that's not given. So yeah. Alright, now with all the disclaimers out of the way, let's just dive on in with all the basics. First thing that everyone mentions about being on T is your skin may become thicker and a lot more oily. So yes, acne is going to happen from this, which sucks, but it's puberty. And so that means that you're going to increase in sweat a lot. The odors of your sweat and urine can change because of this. So like also like with the sweat, basically you can get hot flashes. It's a very interesting time in your life when you're transitioning because you're experiencing menopause and puberty all at the same time. But that's just like what your body's doing because like estrogen isn't being produced anymore from your ovaries, so you experience the menopause symptoms like hot flashes and everything. But then also like you're getting testosterone and everything, so like, you know, you get acne and everything. So another thing is like your body fat shifts. So basically the fat from your hips shifts upwards to like your abdomen area, so basically your abs. So you get like more of the straight figure rather than like the hourglass. Increase in muscle mass. This will also increase a lot more if you go to the gym alongside with testosterone. Another thing is facial hair and body hair. Basically, so with body hair, it just seems darker and a lot like more coarse, and then like, yeah, you get facial hair and everything, but that depends on your genetics. And then also with hair is that like you'll get scalp hair loss, but just because you're seeing hair losing right here and everything doesn't mean you're going bald. That just means that your hair is just shifting to like more of a masculine hairline and everything. Of course, the deepening of the voice comes like voice cracks, the embarrassing like going in coughing fits, shift in libido, so you're gonna just like be horny randomly. And then also you stop with your period, so basically your menstrual cycle just stops. It's different for everybody, but a lot of individuals say it happens between 3 to 6 months on testosterone, which is cool. Some people after their first shot stops and everything, but it's different with everybody, like I said before. And then also, another main thing that happens to everybody is the clitoral enlargement. So basically this means that your clitoris, which is basically your trans dick, that starts growing, and basically it grows up to like 5 years. So at first it can grow like really fast at first and then very slow and everything, but it typically will become its size roughly around 5 years. I tried to look up like the average size of a trans dick, but there wasn't like really, there was like a lot many different answers, so it can range from like 2 to 4 inches. But also it could be larger than that. It just depends on your genetics. While we're on the subject of like the growth of the clitoris and everything like that, in my update videos of being like on T for like 2 months, 3 months, whatever, I will no longer be talking about my growth, because that's just like very personal and it's like very weird. Because like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be like, hey, 3 months on T, like my trans dick is like an inch now. Like, that's just really weird and like very personal to me. Now we're gonna get into kind of like the risks/horrors of being on testosterone. The first one that always comes to my mind is balding. I'm terrified of that I'm gonna be bald and everything. But that just mainly depends on your genetics, so you can kind of look at your father, like the men in your father's side of the family, the men in your mother's side of the family, kind of like just look at them, and then that can also estimate like your beard growth and everything. So like, I don't know, it's not like extremely accurate. Like my on my dad's side, my grandfather, like he had like a biker's beard. Does that mean that I'm gonna get a biker's beard? Probably not. I'm probably gonna just have like, you know, an average sized beard. Do I want a biker's beard? No, not really. So for me, it's a little stressful because I don't really know that much of the men on either side of my family, because like my father died when I was 18, so I really don't know about like the balding and everything like that, which is stressful for me personally. But I've come to like the conclusion that like I'm fine if I go bald as long as I have a beard, because like that can be sexy, you know. Weight gain, so you can have an increase in weight because, so being on T, you have an increase in appetite, and a lot of individuals don't know how to control that, so they just keep on eating, so they gain fat. This can be like not really as a horror per se, because you are increasing muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. So yes, you could be gaining weight, but like just look at yourself in the mirror and everything like that, and if you look good, you look good. Like fuck it, you know. Sleep apnea, which basically meaning that like you can't really sleep that well or anything, can't sleep at all. So, and then the other risks/horrors of being on T is high blood pressure and cholesterol, blood clots, which is thickening of the blood, and elevated liver enzymes. So basically with that, to get more into terminology and everything like that, and if I butcher these words, do not make fun of me that much. I didn't go to school for nursing or anything like that. I am not good with biology at all. I went to school for business. I graduated with a business degree. I'm good with research, but I'm not really with like, yeah. So anyways, just to clarify before I go into these and you all start freaking out, these are rare occurrences in transmasculine individuals, or even cis men taking testosterone for different reasons, basically because they have low testosterone levels and all that. These are rare occurrences. They do happen sometimes, but there are steps to like cure it in a sense. So first is polycythemia, which is producing too many red blood cells, which is like a rare blood cancer. Dyslipidemia, which is an abnormal amount of lipids in the blood. And then there's also I'm gonna screw this one. Pulmonary oil microembolism. Butchered that, but I'll have it written. Which is a blood clot in the lung. So basically, this was interesting to me because apparently like there's like oils in your muscles and everything like that, and obviously testosterone if you're doing the injections. So it's obviously a muscle shot, intermuscular shot. So like you stab in your muscle, there you go. So this is when like there's oils in your muscle that like drips into your lung somehow. I really don't know why that happens, but apparently that's what this is. And basically it forms a blood clot in your lung and everything. So basically the symptoms with that is chest pain, dizziness, trouble breathing, of course, and tightening of the throat. Now do not mistake this when your voice is dropping. You do get a sore throat, but you can actually obviously talk through it, you can breathe through it, so like don't mistake just sore throat with that and totally be a hypochondriac and freak the fuck out. Don't do that to yourself. Usually with the throat tightening, you'll have trouble breathing with it, and then also fainting. So particularly those three blood problems, it's a problem with taking a dose too high for your body's metabolism. That's why doctors try to prescribe you the lowest dose possible to achieve those physical changes that you want, but that doesn't like give you those negative effects, because like that's why you should always talk to your doctor about certain things, and like also take your shot on your shot day. Don't do it a few days before just because you're going on vacation and you don't want to bring your shit. Bring it with you, because like you're just going to screw up your whole thing. And then also do the dosage that your doctor prescribes you. Me personally, I was kind of pissed off because like my dosage is 0.2 milliliters. That's like this tiny. It's so tiny, but I'm a skinny boy. I'm 5'7" and I only weigh 130 pounds. I'm a skinny dude. So like that's why it's that small, and I do it every 3 weeks, which kind of seems like a lot of people's like, well, you're doing it every 3 weeks, not every week. And it's like, I'm starting off slow at first and everything. We don't want these things to happen to me, which took me a long time to understand, because like obviously you just want changes to occur, but like if you do a really high dose that's too much for your body, these blood problems can occur, which is very dangerous. That's why they try to give you the lowest dose possible. So some doctors actually suggest to occasionally donate blood so it can like offset the risk of blood clots and stroke, which I don't medically know how to explain how that helps, because like I said, I went to school for business. I didn't go for nursing or anything. But like when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. So like I mentioned before and everything, you stop getting your period, your menstrual cycle stops, or whatever, how you want to explain that. This is because it decreases the production of estrogen from the ovaries. So basically, with this, yes, that's awesome, that's great. Once your menstrual cycle stops altogether, if you get any bleeding or spotting after that point, you need to contact your doctor. Which is like an embarrassing situation, I understand. Like we don't want to like talk to our doctor about that. Like, why the fuck is this happening to us still? But at the same time, you need to talk to your doctor about that. So your doctor will do an ultrasound to make sure that it's not a symptom of an imbalance of the uterus lining, because that could lead to a precancerous condition. It's very rare. Remember, these are rare, but it does happen. Most of the times when bleeding or spotting does occur, it's because your body's metabolism has just changed. You gained weight and you're exercising more, so your metabolism's changing. It's all about that. So maybe they'll like test your T levels as well. But if it does occur where it's like an imbalance in the uterus lining, what they would do is perform an emergency hysterectomy. So experts actually say that they suggest for transmasculine individuals who have been on T for like at least 5 to 10 years to get a full hysterectomy, which means removal of the uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tube, just to minimize the risk of cancer. Which does mean that like fully negates your chance of having children. Some of these are just basic side effects, some of these are like risks, and like some of these may seem like extreme horrors to you and everything, especially like when the word cancer comes involved. I obviously just freak out a little bit. But they are rare, and yeah, so although there's these side effects, it's not necessary to routinely check your T levels, because apparently it's like a very expensive test. I don't know how much it costs. I've never gotten my T levels checked yet. But like out of like everything that like you can just get tested, done and everything, it's one of the most expensive size tests. But usually your doctor will check your T levels like probably in the beginning of your process, most definitely. But then throughout your transition, usually they do it only if you have like an unpleasant symptom or like you have ongoing bleeding. But your doctor will perform periodic tests of like your blood count, cholesterol, your kidney and liver function, because that can shut down. And then also give you diabetes screening. So yeah, that's everything I have for you guys today. Obviously there's a lot more I can talk about when it comes to testosterone and like transitioning from female to male. These are just some of the basics, and I just wanted this information out there for individuals like myself who are transitioning or thinking of going on testosterone. So yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any more questions about testosterone. And yeah, I know this was like a lot of information, so if you guys want a copy of this, just DM me on Instagram at alternate_journey. Just DM me and everything, I'll send you a picture. Make sure you give me a follow on that too. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.